It is time to start. Hey there, I am Kevin Colby. If we have never met, and welcome to my first live stream in actually quite a while, but especially the first one of 2022. Look, I don't know about you, but to me, numbers are numbers. I mean, I've never really gotten into the one year's worst or best than the other. I think, we can have good days and good months and good hours and bad hours and all that stuff. But yeah, I mean, it was saying all that was, 2021 was kind of interesting. I know personally from a business standpoint, it was the probably the best year I've had in terms of a business. Um I, I am far more of a creative than a business person. I'll just say that. But I am so glad you are here. If you have a question, if you have a comment or something like that, drop it in the comments. Whether you're watching this live or you're watching this on replay, I am a big believer with connecting with people. I always try and answer every question, every comment on my YouTube videos. In fact, I had when I signed on today, I had a couple of questions, and one was from a video I did a year ago, and one was from one I did just this week. But anyway, if you have a question, if you have anything like that, just go ahead and ask. But I'm excited to be here. I thought about doing this all week, and then I thought at the last minute yesterday, I'm like, yeah, let's just go ahead and go live. Um, so I thought I'd share some highlights from the year, and then just open this up and we can have a dialogue. Because one of the things I do like about live streaming, and again, it's been a moment since I've gone live last. But I love live streaming. Let me back up. I just love video content. I love creating content. A lot of times people will say, "What do you do?" I do a lot of video producing, both for myself, for clients. I also do video coaching, consulting. To me, there's kind of a difference in both. I don't know what you think. If you think coaching and consulting are different, let me know in the comments. I think there is a little bit of a difference. Um, but I love to just help people just get into and do more with video, which is my whole thing on this channel. And I'm kind of jumping into the second part of this about some things I'm going to do. But what I thought I would do is share with you kind of how I did YouTube wise in 2021. And one of the tools I use a lot is TubeBuddy. And by the way, everything I mention, hopefully there'll be a link to down in the description of the tools and things like that. And if I forget, remind me and I'll drop in the comments. But I use TubeBuddy a lot. Now, I've also been using vidIQ some. So vidIQ launched this product this past year called Daily Ideas, and I did a video on it. If you want to see that, it's on the channel. I think I called it "Never Run Out of Ideas Again," and it's a pretty cool tool. Some supposedly it's pulling from your content and then also channels similar to yours. I do find it occasionally bizarre on what it's giving me as ideas, but it's really cool. vidIQ and TubeBuddy, I don't think you can go wrong with either one. Years ago, I had both, and there was a conflict going on between them in the studio. But I think whatever happened, I don't mean like they were fighting. Have you seen the commercials where the mascots fight? Not like that. But TubeBuddy has some definite tools I use that I love, and vidIQ has some stuff too. So either way, you can't go wrong. But TubeBuddy does this year in review, and I thought what I would do is I would actually show you my year in review. Now, let me say something too, that one of the things that I think is really easy to do as a content creator, and let me know if you get caught up in this, is to get caught up in numbers. Now, look, as a business owner, my business, I do have spreadsheets of what I'm spending and what I'm bringing in. By the way, and I'm not an affiliate with them at all. In fact, I use the free version, but Wave, WAVE. is what I use for my accounting, if you will. It's really simple and straightforward. I can invoice through there. I can get paid through there. So if you're looking for something, just check out Wave, WAVE. And again, I don't have an affiliate agreement with them because I'm using the free version. But um, it's easy to get caught up into numbers. And so, full disclosure, um, I had a goal, and I say it like that because I don't know that I do a lot of goal setting. It's just one of those things I don't do. I may have many things I want to try and things like that that I jump into. But one of the goals I did have last year is I wanted to get to 10,000 subscribers by the end of the year. I didn't. I came way under that. Excuse me. And so the beauty of this Elgato Wave XLR I use is that I can mute the mic when I had to burp. But I did. But I just thought it would be great. Now look, there are milestones on YouTube that are amazing that unlock things. When you get 100 subscribers, you can you can change you can actually apply for your custom URL. So like that, I have youtube.com/Kevin Colby, right? I have some other channels that don't have near 100, so they're that string of numbers and letters YouTube gives you. When you get to 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of watch time, you can apply for the partner program, which is called, being able to be monetized on YouTube, and that's huge. And if you get there, I would definitely recommend you do that. I also, when you get to 10,000, you get, I think that's when they unlock stories. Now, I really hope they change that soon because I would love to be using stories more on YouTube. But having said that, you can get too caught up in the numbers and you can get so caught up that you're creating for the algorithm. And that's tough. You start chasing that. You want to be seen because YouTube is a search engine, but at the same time you want to talk to people. But what surprised me though is my views. And a lot of folks don't understand this about YouTube is that a lot of folks think that your subscribers will automatically track with your views, and that's not the case at all. And I'm going to show you here in just a minute using the tool in TubeBuddy how my views far surpass subscribers. Now, having said all that, if you would love to subscribe to the channel, I would love to have you subscribe to the channel. But even more so, let me know the type content you're looking for. What you would be needing to help you do more with video. You can drop that in the comments. You can, well, that's probably the best way to do it. But let me share with you, and I hope the sound comes through with this because I'm using StreamYard for this. There's only my two favorite live streaming apps, Ecamm Live and StreamYard, and I've been honored to work with both of them. BeLive is great. I've worked with them too. Restream, I've used some. There's nothing wrong with any of these. But I got to tell you, for my money, the easiest software to live stream with is StreamYard. And Ecamm Live, it gives you more tools. One is browser based, one you download. But if you're interested in either one of those, there's free versions and check those links. But anyway, but TubeBuddy did a year in review that I'm going to play here. There's sound to it. Hopefully the sound comes through. If it doesn't, just know it's music and I may kind of hum along. Where's my mouse? There it is. And here it is. I hope the music's playing. So when it gets to the end here, All right, so I'm going to go back up to the top, and I'm going to, because the music just keeps playing. But one of the things I wanted to show you is this is how I began the year. And, again, I think in terms of the YouTube universe, I still have a very small channel, but you can have a small channel and have great impact and make money and impact people's lives and connect with people. And it's just, so I hope if you are watching this and you haven't started on YouTube, if nothing, you'll go, yeah, I can do that. But this is how I started the year right here. This is how I started. So I started with 220, well, a little over 2,000 subs, and again, the goal was to get to 4,000 or get to 10,000. I don't really pay this much attention with uploads. I just don't. I just upload, and these were my views. Well, if there we go. So as we go, I'm going to jump to kind of how the end, and this is how it ended. So if you remember, I went from 2,000 to, so I doubled my subscribers. That's fine. But look at the views. And I think this is the type thing that sometimes we don't think about, is that, that's a lot of views, and it's continuing to grow. I don't know what it is today. I know it's I'm getting close to 600,000. And again, the upload, I just don't pay that much attention to. But aside from that, check this out. So one of the things it also shows you is your top 3 videos. And again, I think this is based on views. These would not have been, full disclosure, these would not have been the videos that I would have thought would have been my top 3 had I not been looking at my analytics. But check this out. Both of these, there's also something they have in common, and they're all shot with my iPhone. The thumbnail shot with my iPhone, shot with my iPhone, shot with my iPhone. Now I use different programs. I use Canva for everything, but I point that out just to say that, a lot of times if you are not doing and getting started because of gear, don't let the gear hold you back. In fact, one of the things looking forward that to this year is one of the things I decided to do is I'm trying to not overproduce something, and I'm trying to not over complicate it now, or overthink it, probably is better according to my notes. Do I do a good job with that? No, not all the time. There's been times where I've so overproduced videos rather than just get them out. And Rob Wilson of vidIQ said something once, and I want to find the quote. It's just brilliant. And it was about, a lot of times I see in these groups is like, well, should I wait for this, and should I think about it? And, I don't know if the video is ready. And this again is the quote is from Rob Wilson, vidIQ. YouTube hates procrastination. If it can't find the content from you, it will find it from somebody else. And, I got to tell you, I think that's brilliant. And so sometimes it's more important. My friend Sean Cannell says it all the time. You just got to hit record. And sometimes it's better to put things out there. So I hope that's one of those things that you don't let stop you from growing. So let me get rid of that. But a couple other things I did last year that I'm going to focus on, and I just kind of want to show those here, is that I decided to really get more serious about my podcast. And I think the mistake I'm making, and that's one of the things I really want to do this year more, is I want to be a lot more transparent. I think I've been transparent. I'm always telling you what I think, but I really want to be as real as I possibly can about what it's like to be a content creator and run a business and struggle, but the highs and the lows. So one of the things I did this year is I said, you know what, dadgummit, I need to get, it's about as much as I curse to, is I need to get serious about my podcast. And so I rebranded it, and that's a trap I've fallen into. I keep changing. But I've just decided to call it Real Creative Life. And one of the things I plan on doing more is just, you see the latest one I did is on rethinking TikTok. And if you want to know what my thoughts on that, you'll need to listen to it. Um, if you type in realcreativelife.com, you can go there. But I just plan on dropping more podcasts that don't take a lot of time, but hopefully help people. So that was one of the things that I wanted to commit to. Um, I also found, I'm going to save that one for another one, but I also switched my website from WordPress to Squarespace, and I gotta tell you, I like it. I'm really glad I did. Squarespace is really easy to use. I don't know if there's a link down in the description, but you can change it. You can do so many different things. But one of the things I wanted to point out to you is that if you're interested in my gear, there's a couple of sections on here, but this is all the gear I use to live stream as of right now. And when I say as of right now, because I change, but going back to the simplifying. If any of you have ever seen any of my live streams before, you notice it may look a little different. And one of the things I decided late last year is I switched to the Elgato face cam. Um, yes, it doesn't give you the blurry background, or as we call it, bokeh or bokeh. And I'm okay with that. It's a trade-off because you turn it on and it's ready to go. It'll just go for as long as I have power to my house because it plugs right into your computer via USB. It's pretty cool. I got to tell you. Now, again, I gave up some things. I gave up the blurry background, but you can dial in the look and everything like that, and it just works. Now, ironically, Logitech sent me their Stream Cam just at the beginning of the year, so I'm going to be doing a review of the two. I did pay for this one. And I'm the kind of guy that when there's things I'm using and they work, I stick with them. I love Canon. I love Rode mics. Are they the best? I don't know. They work for me. Eddie's saying Boca is a city in Florida. That is true. That is true. I think it's a different spelling. But one of the reasons I went with this face cam is because, it sits on top of my monitor where I can actually adjust the monitor to adjust the angle if I want. I just discovered this the other day that it'll actually do that. It's like, oh, dang, I didn't know it would do that. But there's trade-offs you make. And I can still plug in my Canon M50 Mark II, which, if you notice on the list, is one of the cameras I will use. And the reason I went with the Canon the Canon M50 Mark II, is because it has what's called clean HDMI out, which means it turns your camera into a webcam, but it takes off all the information that you would normally see on the viewfinder. Why go to a webcam? Why pay this money? I just wanted something simple. I could pop on top of my computer, plugs in the USB, and there's less to do. And I apologize. I thought I had my phone on mute. You got to love it. That's one thing about live. Can't edit that out. I could, but I won't. But this is one of the things I'm trying to do this year. I'll be honest. I bought a couple of big lights at the end of the year and then sent them back the other day because I thought, you know what? I don't need them. I've got plenty of lights. The light I use here is an Elgato key light. It works. It clamps to my desk. I can control the brightness. This mic is the Rode Pod mic. It plugs right into an Elgato Wave XLR, which is probably the simplest. Is that a word? Audio interface I've ever used. Big knob. And I've got videos on those on my channel if you ever want to watch that. So, but if you're interested in that, like I mentioned at the beginning of this, that there will be a link to everything in the description. So if you want to see more about the gear, more about my live streaming gear, just hit the description and you would see that. And what was the other thing? Oh, but so it was a good year for, well, here, let's just do that. So, one of the things that I'm really trying to double down more on, and hopefully this will help you, is just by doing more with video. And so that's a lot of what I'm going to do. There's some ones in here like the tools we're talking about, how to get started and things like that. So If you're new to my channel, check the videos out and see if there's things on there that will help you literally do more with video. Um, so my challenge to you this year is a challenge to me, and it's to commit to creating. Commit to creating content that kind of feeds your creative soul that can help other people. Now, I realize that, people watching this, you may have a business, you may have a nonprofit, you may have a personal brand. I have a business. I work with a lot of nonprofits and a lot of smaller businesses and other creators, but I probably think of myself more as a personal brand than anything. And that's why putting myself out there and creating more to help you create. But again, I think the challenge that I want to issue to you and for me is to create more and stop overthinking it and stop overdoing it. One of the things you can see it right back there. In fact, I'll get it. This is my GoPro Hero 9 Black. Now, this is like my third GoPro. I think I had the 5 and then the 7. For some reason, I buy the odd numbers. Don't know why. And I've got it, and I've never been a huge GoPro fan, but you know what? I thought I use it. It's just easy. The allure to buy the bigger and the best and the newer cameras. I was so close to buying the Canon EOS R, and I thought, why? I've got an M6 Mark II. It's over here on a one stand that I shoot all of my videos with when I'm not live streaming, and it's phenomenal. I've got an M50 Mark II. We've talked about that. It's phenomenal. Is it the best camera out there? There is no best camera out there. It's the best camera for me. How about that? And I did recently upgrade to the iPhone 13 Pro. I had the 11 and I was fine with it. And then when the 13 came out and they added the cinematic feature to video, and if you don't know about that, we can do a deep dive sometime on a video. Oh my word, it's phenomenal. So at one point I did go with the 13, and then the more I thought about it, I changed it out for the 13 Pro, and thankfully I could still get it. Yeah, yeah. NLTMW is saying it's easy to stumble down the gear rabbit hole. I've done it way too many times because and let me know if you feel this pain. And again, whether you're watching live or in the replay, you know, it's easy to feel like I've got everything I need. And then you get on YouTube and you see some of these guys talking about the new this or the new that or how this, and you go, well, I need that. I need that. You know, is- does gear matter? Yes and no. I did a video on this once. Gear matters to the point that you need some kind of gear to create content. Now, I used to really, really be a non-fan of the built-in laptop cameras. I mean, they're not, from a quality standpoint, they're not that good. Now, the new MacBooks, the new MacBook Pro M1 Pros, can they not come up with a better name? They upgraded the webcam that's built into it to a 1080p. I bought one and played with it. I sent it back, but I played with it and the camera is very good. In fact, there's a video that I did a comparison if you want to see what the camera looked like. Supposedly the MacBook Air, the new one they're coming out with this year, will have an M2 chip in it, which just means it's going to be crazy fast. And the camera will be a 1080p. But here's the thing. I mean, I was watching a video the other day and there was a real estate agent who was killing it on YouTube and he shot everything on his laptop. It didn't look great. It was framed horrible. But you know what mattered was the content and the content and the content. And some of this stuff I may get in deeper dives on my podcast, but there's nothing wrong with using what you have. In fact, I would recommend using what you have before you go out and chunk down a lot of change, because it's easy to go down the rabbit hole of gear. Gear does matter to a degree, that as long as they can hear you and see you, you're good. Now, over time, you may add to it. Full disclosure, I will buy things that I need for my business to help me with clients, not to impress them. I've never ever, and I've been doing this a long time. I've never, ever, never once had a client ask me about my gear ever. They've never asked what camera I'm going to use. Tell me about your lights. Now, which mic are we using? It's now they may be interested if they want to get into it themselves. And I have clients I've helped coach that they want to get more into video. I've got one now that I work with a lot, and she is wanting to do her own video, so I'm helping her with that. But you know what? If you've got an iPhone, dude or dudette, that's just as good as a lot of high end cameras out there. So, be careful about chasing the gear, because the gear doesn't make you creative. It can help you create, but the gear is not going to make you any more creative. Creating will help do that. So that's kind of my challenge. That's kind of where I wanted to get to today. And this is the things that I'm working on. I'm working on being more consistent in posting to YouTube. I'm working with on doing videos that sometimes they're going to feed my creative soul, but hopefully they will help you do more with video. And that's why I love to hear from you guys about, yeah, what do you think about this, or what about this? It may not be something I know about, but at the same time, it may be something like, oh yeah, I can do that. On the GoPro, I'm going to play with it. In fact, I just bought the brand new. Hang on. I know you should never walk away, but I literally just got this yesterday. This is the Rode Video Mic Go 2. Kind of looks like this. And this is a version of their bigger one. But what I'm really excited about this one about is that there's no batteries. It's camera powered, and that's one of the things that I've had a hiccup with, is that sometimes you go to record, you're on a shoot, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, I forgot to charge the mic up overnight. And this will actually work with your phone, your tablet, your desktop, your mirrorless or DSLR camera. And you're ready for this? $99. This was $99. This is $99. So I'm gonna be playing with that and do a review on that as well. Mike Hicks is saying I'm filming on 2 phone Galaxy S21 Ultras and a Pixel 6, and they work just fine for now. There you go. I don't know a lot about either one of those phones, but I hear the Pixel 6 is really nice. If it gets the job done, I think too often, speaking from experience, I've let the gear and trying to get it perfect get in the way. And I tend to be a perfectionist, with sometimes collides with being a content creator. Now, if I'm creating something for a client, I better dang get it right before I send it to them. I don't know about you, but the fear is, oh my word, I sent something to them and it was spelled wrong, or I made a mistake in there, which is completely different than the client wanting to make a change. So yeah, Mike, I got you, and I think you're dead on. I mean, use that, and they're great. In fact, I just got a little bitty gimbal I've yet to play with. It was like a $50 gimbal for the iPhone that I want to play with. Do I think you need it? Maybe not, but it was only $50. Phil Guide is saying, I use my iPhone and it works great. I purchased a Bluetooth mic to improve my sound. That's a good idea. I would argue and that the most important part of video is your audio. Now, they do have to see you. Case in point. Yeah, you can kind of see me, but that's a lot better, right? So lighting is good, but you can do so much with a little light. But yeah, audio is huge, and it doesn't have to cost a ton of money. Again, something like this, you can use with an iPhone too. You'd have to get a different mount, but $99. The reason I'm excited about this is because it's so versatile, and the price point is just amazing. And if it's like all the other Rode products I have, I know it's going to sound great. And LTMW is saying the client might question you if you showed up with a Barbie video camera. I would challenge. I'd say that would be good. You know, here's the thing. Um, yeah, when I worked in television for a long time, it's funny you say that, is I got into a debate once with our chief engineer, and super nice guy, but he was like, well, yeah, you don't want to, because this is kind of when folks were using DSLRs a little bit more, for production. He goes, well, you don't want to show up with that because we had these big honking cameras. And I said, Jimmy was his name. Actually, still is his name. I said, the client just doesn't care if we're doing a show. Now, I get your point though, that if you show it with something cheap, but here's the thing: they're probably hiring you because you can do something faster or easier, or with more expertise than they can. And I keep thinking it'd be kind of cool to do a whole video on a flip phone, and just I'd have to get one and just see what it looks like. Um, Mike Hicks is saying just one ring light stand with a mic to attach to the phone. That was an upgrade for the new year. When we hit 500 subs, going to the next upgrade then. Yeah. And you know what? That's a good idea. I'm personally not a fan of ring lights because of these glasses right here. I mean, you can still, like right there, you can see the light. You can see a little of the monitor. I do wear, these are blue blocker lenses. That's what I have found work the best for me. Plus they look kind of cool. They're readers, but I think they help reduce the light. And then I also have this thing called, I think it's called Quick Shade. I'm on a Mac, and it's a free app that allows me to dim my screen. So if you see it here, and see what happens is it dims the reflection off the glasses. Now it only works on a computer, but it was free. And so what I do is do that. That's why I don't use ring lights. Ring lights are great. You will see them in your eyes, which doesn't bother me. But to your point though, there are simple rigs like that you can get. Joby has one. In fact, they sent it to me. I haven't even cracked the box yet. It looks like a gorilla pod with alien. But what it is the gorilla pod base. And if you're not familiar with the gorilla pod, it's the bendable tripod, the bendy thing. And then it has an arm that comes out that you can put a mic on, and it has an arm you can put out and put a small light on. And you can get these little bitty lights that they don't cost a lot. They can do a lot of different things. In fact, I've got a small one from Aperture. I just found out the other day I can control it with my phone via remote. Shut up. Yes, you can. Didn't even know that. But yeah, to Mike's point, you can do a lot with a little. So again, my challenge for you and me this year is create more content. Now, if you're not on YouTube, I think all you guys are, because I see YouTube symbols there. But if you're not on YouTube, it's never too late. It is never too late. There's so many people getting on YouTube every day looking for something. In fact, I just heard a stat this morning. Is it like 65% of the people that go to YouTube are going to figure something out to find something? What do you do? What can you help them with? My passion, my mission is to help people do more with video and figure it out. Not trying to be the expert in everything, but just whether it comes from whether it's about editing or graphics in your video, or finding music. In fact, I would encourage you to. I'm gonna plug one of my last videos, is to watch this video right there. Let me get right here. This one right here. 5 tools that every video content creator needs. Yes, there's affiliate links in there, but the reason that I feel strongly is because it covers things like graphics, music, stock images, even a website. Huge believer in that. If you are creating content for anything more than just a hobby, yeah, I'm just doing it for fun, a website is a way to go. It can be as big or as small as you want it, but it's really a way to connect with people. It's really a way for people to find you, to post things. And it's one of those things that, again, when I switched to Squarespace, there was nothing wrong with WordPress. I actually loved WordPress. I got a little tired of plugins for everything. Squarespace is just easy. There's a theme, and you just kind of, you can adapt it from there. Yeah, field guide is saying, "I too am all about helping people." Um, yeah, I don't have the article handy, but I saw an article yesterday, and this lady was talking about how she became like a big entrepreneur, and the one thing that she realized is to give, but you have to give to get. And I thought, then that's not giving. If I'm only giving stuff, now look, I do want to make money, and I do need to make money. I have a family to feed. But if the only time you give is because you're expecting somebody to give you something back, then that's not true giving. That's just I think as Gary Vee called it, strategy. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with wanting to get paid and work for people and help them. But at the same time, helping people too, just along their journey, it's just more fulfilling, isn't it? It feels good. So, hey, look, I really appreciate you watching this. If you're watching this on the replay, drop a comment, ask a question. But again, my challenge this year to all of you is the same as me, is let's keep creating. Create content to help people. Create content to share your gifts and make an impact in the world. And don't overthink it and don't overproduce it. And I tell you what, you help me with that, and I'll help you with that too, right? And it's just yeah. Mike is saying, yeah, helping people grow better. I like that. I like that a lot. Mike's your channel is about gardening, folks. Micro gains right now. Yeah. I mean, you can go small, you can go wide. I do think sometimes wide is tough, but that's what it is. But yeah, keep creating and use your gifts and make an impact in the world. I'm Kevin. Subscribe if you got any value out of this. Actually, if you didn't get any value out of this, go ahead and subscribe anyway. Why not? Right. And appreciate you. And I'll see you